go-to guy in San Antonio.
Everybody gets them. You got to live through them. You know, Sacramento's had their share, Lakers have had their share, and we've got to deal with it now.
With the MVP down, the champs are desperate for someone to step up. And who are the league's other MVPs? We'll look up and down the contenders' lineups for the man each team can least afford to lose. Plus, Kobe's already made it clear he'll play the free agent game this summer. Now another Laker is making noise about making this season in L.A. his last. Thanks for being there for another edition of NBA Fast Break. Matt Weiner and Sean Elliott, you feeling good?
I feel terrific.
You feel good? I feel good. Tim Duncan, not so much. The Spurs placed the MVP on the injured list with, let me get this straight, irritation of his left patellofemoral joint. You ever have that?
No.
Not as far as you know. How would you know?
That's very complicated.
Yeah, I don't know. Have any idea what it means, except Tim Duncan not on the floor in San Antonio as the Spurs took on the Nuggets Saturday. This game decided very much in the paint. Hedu Turkoglu to Malik Rose, who got the start this game, got himself a dunk as well. Spurs up 4. Later in the first, 8-point game. Tony Parker misses. Kevin Willis turned back the clock night in San Antonio.
Spurs just dominated the Nuggets in the paint area. The Nuggets were not ready to play this ball game.
Manu Ginobili the drive and the bucket. Spurs up by 8. Second quarter, Spurs up 6. Dunk of the night nominee from Carmelo Anthony. He was 10 of 16, had 26 points, which is all well and good, but Jeff Bledsoe was not happy with the rookie's defense. Manu Ginobili sees a lane. Anthony and Nene just stand there.
Just sit there, did not move whatsoever, no help defense at all. Poor defensive effort.
Led to a Rasho Nesterovic dunk. Spurs shot 50% for the game. Tony Parker, big part of that. Moved for the layup. He was 11 of 19. Later in the third, Parker coast to coast, ooh la la.
It was a layup drill for the Spurs tonight. Again, the Denver Nuggets took this game for granted is what happened. They saw Tim Duncan out of the lineup. They thought they were going to coast to a victory.
Well, Parker steps outside, knocks down the 3. It was 4 for 4 from out there as well. Rose, he be jamming. He had 17 points. Spurs win big, 117-92. The 117 points, a season high for a regulation game for the Spurs. Who needs Tim Duncan? Kevin Willis, season high 17 points. Rasho Nesterovic, 20 points and 12 boards. The much maligned Rasho got it done.
Had a couple blocks as well. Really did a nice job offensively tonight. When he's hitting little runners or getting his rebound back and put it, you see there, the Nuggets just not ready to play. Rasho was active tonight on the offensive glass. He gets 2 putbacks. And here again, he's just all over the glass. There are 3 Nugget players underneath in the paint area, and Rasho was still able to manage that offensive board. This guy came to play tonight, 12 rebounds, 20 points. He did a fantastic job in the absence of Tim Duncan. He's been maligned all year long for his play, but he's come through. I thought earlier this year when the Spurs had a 13-game winning streak, he was very responsible for that because he held down the paint area.
Points in the paint, 68-38 in favor of the Spurs in this game. Now, obviously, the San Antonio is not going to score 117 every night without Tim Duncan.
No, they're going to do that once a year.
There's an argument to be made that no one needs their star more than San Antonio does with the Spurs. Who needs to pick up the slack in the meantime?
Well, Malik Rose got the start tonight. He did a fantastic job, 17.7 boards. He started the ball game tonight. I thought he'd be coming off the bench. Tony Parker is widely regarded as the #2 option on that team. He came through with 29 big points tonight, and also Manu Ginobili just knifed through that Denver Nuggets defense, and of course, along with Rasho Nesterovic, all 4 of those guys picked it up. I mean, you could talk about their effort all night long. Kevin Willis as well. He had 17 points, but Tony Parker's got to be the guy along with Rasho Nesterovic.
Only 3 other teams in the league that can match San Antonio's gap between the #1 scorer and the #2 scorer on their team. None of those 3 teams is in the playoffs. That tells you how much Tim Duncan means to the Spurs. So here's what they've got to look forward to. Fortunately, it comes at a time when the Spurs are in the middle of a home stretch. 4 of their next 5 games, in fact, are at home at the SBC Center. The lone road game is at Phoenix, and they released Ron Mercer on Friday. There's another potential scorer gone there. Later, we'll talk about who are the most valuable guys to their teams around the league. So Andre Miller has been very valuable to the Nuggets this season, but not so much on Saturday night. He's still your stat stuffer.
Yeah, well, he was my stat stuffer tonight, and you know he's a guy who throughout his career has filled it up. When you talk about points, rebounds, and assists, he's had several triple-doubles in his career. Did not have a tremendous night tonight, and that's partly why the Nuggets lost. As a matter of fact, he put up a goose egg in the assist department. Not going to happen
It's
very
your fault.
often. Yeah, it was my fault. I jinxed him. But this guy can get it done. Forget about last year with the Clippers. I mean, lots of people go to the Clippers and they forget their games. Andre Miller back in a perfect situation now, running a young ball club. He doesn't have to be the #1 star in this team. This guy in the open floor, he's going to find you if you're open. He does a tremendous job penetrating the basketball. He can rebound the ball as well. He's a strong, tough guard, not afraid to mix it up in the paint area. You see he can finish in the lane as well. This guy averaging almost 4.5 rebounds a game from the point guard position. That's tremendous rebounding at that point guard spot. And of course, he can play the passing lane. He'll get out there, he'll anticipate. He has nice hands. He'll definitely get you a couple steals a ball game. This guy, I love his all-around game. And look at this. He can set a screen. Oh, for a point guard and knock you senseless. Andre Miller is an all-around player, one of the better point guards in the league.
10 points, 3 rebounds, no assists for Andre. You know what's going to happen now? Guys around the league are going to start coming up to you and say, seriously, Sean, don't make me your stat stuffer.
Every time we try to get a stat stuffer, I mean, we've had to change it the last couple of weeks because everybody I pick just comes up with a terrible game.
This man is personally killing folks around the league from this chair. Meanwhile, the Nuggets have an interesting sort of streak going. They keep losing to good teams without their best players. And you see they did it again on Saturday. Tim Duncan out. They get drilled in San Antonio. They lost to the Magic when McGrady missed most of the game. You see this. Why is this happening?
When you see this here, this tells me one thing. They are not mentally tough right now because they're going into ball games, and it happens a lot with teams where you say, hey, they don't have their big star. You think you have a night off. Look at what happened tonight. How in the world did the Denver Nuggets give up 117 points to the Spurs, who average about 90 a game without their superstar? They're not ready to play. They're taking nights off when the stars aren't there, and it's costing them. These are all games they should have won, and it's going to come up and bite them come playoff time.
It's a young team, and they're struggling a little bit anyway. That's 5 straight losses now for Denver. Just getting started here on NBA Fast Break. 2 words to describe the Lakers' backcourt these days: hot and bothered. Kobe lighting it up lately, while the glove is stirring it up. We'll jump into both topics. Portland was piling up wins till they landed in Texas Friday. And you know what? Dallas ain't the ideal spot to start a new win streak.
No, it's not.
Plus, Barron and the Bugs swimming upstream to meet their future Southwest Division rivals. Yeah, that still sounds funny.
The Tilsons live in a house filled with secrets. Some things are better left unknown. Now on DVD with a bonus alternate ending. Dennis Quaid, Sharon Stone. Cold Creek Manor, own it on DVD March 2nd.
The only way out of the Hong Kong underworld is to go back in. Jet Li in Rise to Honor, rated T for teen.
Did we make a beer with 1/3 less carbs than Coors Light taste good? No. We made it taste great. Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling.
Together. Together and
The many ways we communicate are coming together for you.
Come together.
With Ann, only from AT&T.
What's the hot new thing in activewear? The Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. It's what everyone's wearing to get deep heating relief in a patch that lasts up to 8 hours. Try on the new Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. It's what's hot in pain relief.
If you're experiencing hair loss, then this booklet is something you should have, and you'll get it free when you call Hair Club right now. You'll get updates from Hair Club research on genetic therapy and hair cloning. Plus, you'll see the latest results of Hair Club's newly tested hair loss solutions. You can read about these remarkable studies and see the clients of these new cutting-edge technologies. You know, since 1976, Hair Club has provided millions of people with the latest information on hair loss breakthroughs. So call Hair Club now for your free booklet.
Last week on Dream Job, 6 hopefuls took the Sports Center Challenge.
Whoa, let's get to it. There's a new sheriff in town.
Undefeated dream season is on!
He's pumped. He's been working out.
I'd go a little slower.
You just don't sound like an anchor.
I would worry about a smug factor.
And one was cut.
Chris Williams, you've been cut.
This week, the pressure is on as 6 more Dream Job finalists vie for the desk job of a lifetime. Whoa. And you help decide the winner. Dream Job, tomorrow at 10 on ESPN. Who will be cut next?
Yo, get up, put me in the changer in the truck. Hit the streets, windows down.
3 words. Amazing.
Pleased to meet you. I'm
the mailman, Carl Malone. And you're Tracy McGrady. Yao Ming and Steve Nash.
This weekend, Warner Brothers premiered Static Shock on the WB. It's a new animated program featuring 4 NBA All-Stars turned superheroes. Karl Malone's the only one, though, who actually lends his voice to the project.
codename Pulverizer. We're the Hoop Squad.
Sean, do you have a code name I should be aware of?
No, that's a skeleton crew there, though, huh?
Lakers in real life.
Try another one.
In Washington, Kobe has been, he's been way hot of late. We'll talk about that.
He probably should have been my stat stuffer tonight.
Yeah, that would have been a good call, actually. Gary Payton, they're just happy to be included. Talk about that as well. Gilbert Arenas trying to keep the whiz in the game. He got his 8 3-pointers for him. He had 35 points.
Jerry
Stackhouse. Yeah, it could have been another one. Stackhouse hit the fade, and then he fades away. We'll talk about that as well. We got a lot to talk about after these highlights. Kobe, on the other hand, just getting started here. 4 seconds left in the third. Beats the buzzer in Jarvis Hayes' face. Fourth quarter, more from Mr. Kobe. Look at the look. Kareem Rush, 2 of his 14. 96-93 game, still a game. Juan Dixon misses. Payton with the board.
Something here
to Shaq. Oh,
that's a nice play. Shaq looks like he's in much better shape. He's getting up and down the court. Kobe Bryant is ready for the postseason.
You can't see Luke Walton over there. We gave you the arrow, but Kobe saw him just fine. He found him, knocks down the 3, and the Lakers pull away and win it 122-110. That was assist number 10 for Kobe Bryant. Gives him a triple-double, 25, 14 boards as well. The Lakers win it yet again. They go to Jersey to take on the Nets tomorrow. Meanwhile, Jerry Stackhouse did have 20 points, but shut it down for the season to rest his sore knee. Remember, he missed much of the first part of the season after knee surgery. Meanwhile, the aforementioned Mr. Bryant, since the All-Star break, has been smoking people. The points average up by 11 a game. Assists and rebounds have nearly doubled compared to his first half average. What's going on with Sean?
Did I say he was ready for the postseason?
Yes, you did. Now, all you might think is straight with the Lakers right now, playing good basketball. They got the stars working. Shaq looks good. Kobe looks good. But Gary Payton is not all that happy. In fact, he told our David Aldridge he's considering making it a one-and-done situation in L.A. He's not happy with his opportunities in the triangle offense in particular. Some of the things he said to David, quote, if that's the way Phil Jackson is going to be, that's the way he's going to be, and I'll probably have to move on. They're going to have to satisfy Shaq and Kobe. They get 40 minutes. Whatever way Coach Jackson's going to do it, he'll do it, but I'm just going to state that I'm not pleased with my minutes. I'm getting, I should say, because I don't think I'm productive being that way, and a lot of people see that. They see that I'm not comfortable with this, and it's affecting my game. Now, Sean, I thought we all understood that when Karl Malone and Gary Payton signed up for this team, the minutes were going to go down maybe a little bit. The shot opportunities, the points were all going to go down, and in the bargain, they were going to have a shot at a ring.
Absolutely, and that was the trade-off in this deal here. And you know, with the triangle offense as well, it's not conducive to another guy creating. You look at what happened in Chicago. Michael was the creator in that offense. It's primarily a jump shooter's offense. Gary Payton's not going to have a lot of room to operate and be creative like he has in the past, and he will continue to suffer in this offense if he decides to stay there. And as you know, as far as his minutes are concerned, I mean, Derek Fisher was a very competent point guard for years there, so he's got to get time as well. And you just thought it was understood going into this situation that he wasn't going to get as much playing time as he had in the past.
Seemed like he and Karl Malone sort of understood that from the get-go, that they were going to take a little hit in terms of personal stats.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Asking guys, especially superstars like Gary Payton, to cut down his minutes.
All right, his minutes, points, shots, all down. All right, Blazers and Mavericks as we get back to the games. Portland lost in Houston last night. 4 road games in 6 days for them. Steve Nash setting the pick for Antoine Walker. Damon Stoudemire doesn't pick up. That's a blown assignment. That's an easy bucket.
You've got to love a point guard who's going to set a screen on a big man a la John Stockton and help his teammates out in other ways besides passing the ball.
25 for Walker, 21 for Dirk Nowitzki, who knocked down the 3 there. And then it's your man, Steve Nash, Victoria's Secret. The little floater in the lane.
He's just so clever, man. I mean, his little runners, I mean, that's the Canadian patent number 13 there. That little floater in the lane, just all the trickiness. You think he's going to get in the air and pass the ball. Next thing you know, he's laying it off the glass.
Dallas scored 66 in the first half. Fourth quarter, Portland down 9. Darius Miles, the frequent flyer, Dunk of the Night nominee. Portland down 7. He had 16. Steve Nash, fall away, 22 for the crafty one, and Dallas wins it 111-91. Zach Randolph, 18 and 11, another double-double for him, but Trailblazers lose for the second night in a row. Mavericks have won their 7th straight on their home floor. Hornets off the big win over Indiana Friday, up the river, that'd be the Mississippi River, to Memphis. Baron Davis didn't have numbers, but he did eventually get Jamal Mashburn in the picture, got the lay-in and won. Pau Gasol. He's tall, he's Spanish, and he's open.
This is what I like about Memphis, though, because they have 2 very competent big people. Pau Gasol is an excellent ball player, and there you see Miles with the Dunk of the Night nominee. He is such an athletic big man. This team's going to be very dangerous in the playoffs.
Gasol doing it with defense as well, blocking the 3-point attempt. Jason Williams with the cross. Oh, that is... Watch it one more. Oh, see it? Oh, that was over there. And then now I'm over there.
He got caught staring at his own bench.
Wow. Williams, 15 points, 8 assists. Fourth quarter, James Posey drives and throws it down. He had 24. How about Baron Davis? The lay-in.
He came on his own. He came on in the second half.
Later in the fourth, Williams to Gasol for the jam. 18 points, 9 dishes for him. Grizzlies win it on their home floor. They're pretty good on their home floor, 97-92.
I'm telling you, they could easily get that 6th spot. They're going to scare somebody in the playoffs.
Posey now averaging 22.6 points per game over his last 6. Still on the way. How would the Nets respond to their first Lawrence Frank failure? Jersey fighting mad with the up-and-coming Heat in town. Plus, KG may win the MVP, but among MVP candidates, is he the most valuable to his team?
ESPN celebrates Black History Month, The Path We Tread, presented by Nissan.
On December 12th, 1899, U.S. patent number 638920 for an improved golf tee went to a Harvard-educated dentist named George Grant. Although he had a keen interest in the game, Dr. Grant wasn't allowed to play wherever he desired. That's because Grant was black, but this didn't stop others from using his golf tee. That's the path we tread.
Those who were struck down from looking up were only bending to lift us up.
Shift freedom.
We are the achievers, the dreamers, inventors, and wall breakers.
Shift respect.
On Sunday, speed rules as the fastest drivers in the world light the candle.
The Indy Racing League is underway.
The IndyCar season begins on ESPN as reigning champion Scott Dixon begins his title defense in Miami.
Scott Dixon is looking so solid. You're clear.
In the IndyCar series, every race counts as the chase begins at 200 miles per hour.
He can see the turner flag.
The Toyota Indy 300, Sunday at 2 on ESPN.
Over the years, I bet I've talked to thousands of charter customers. I really enjoy helping people. Our new customer call centers will start to make a difference. We will be getting to call sooner, answering questions, and fixing problems. These days, a lot of people ask about our new services, like our fastest high-speed internet connections or charter on demand. I help them find what's right for them. We want our customers happy, and we'll do whatever it takes. That's our promise. Or your money back, guaranteed.
At Redstone Farms, we make building your new condominium home a highly personal experience. With our custom approach, the floor plan is just a starting point. There are lots of options to choose from, or you can get creative and bring us your own ideas. Our builders and designers work with you to ensure that your new home fits your lifestyle and individual taste, making your new condo truly one of a kind. Individual attention, customized floor plans, lots of options. Redstone Farms. Take it personally.
Well, Friday night around the NBA, you saw the protest, the shirts inside out, the number 62 there. Referees in solidarity with Michael Henderson, the suspended referee who blew a shot clock call earlier in the week. And, well, David Stern wasn't all that amused. Quote, last night's display was woefully inconsistent with the professionalism with which NBA officials normally conduct themselves. There was nothing more to say at this time.
So I think they ought to just leave it at that. I mean, why do these guys deserve a punishment? They're standing up for a guy who, you know, really, when you talk about human error, missing or blowing a call, I mean, that happens since the beginning of time with officials. And how can a guy miss 3 games because he made a judgment call and made an error? I think that's a little harsh.
Everyone made their point. So Heat and Nets swapping points in Jersey. Dwayne Wade from behind the arc and then inside the arc, and, well, he's throwing down.
I just love this kid. He's easily going to make the all-rookie first team. He's having a spectacular year.
He had 17. On the break now, carried Kittles to Richard Jefferson. Back to Kittles. He throws down for 2 of his 11. Nets down by 2. Lauren Woods with the block. Look at Wade keeping it alive. Caron Butler for the bucket. He had 18. Miami up by 2.
A tremendous block by Lauren Woods, by the way.
Richard Jefferson, look at the finger roll. Little burst there. He had 25. That's increased their lead to 4.
All these Arizona guys in the highlights.
We like to make you happy whenever possible. Dwayne Wade, the rookie, driving, and he's going to have to file this one away. Watch out for Kenyon Martin.
I wish more guys in the league would do this. I mean, what was it, a steal or a block shot? I mean, that's a beautiful play. That's more intimidating than throwing the ball in the stands.
And much handier when you want to win the game, which the Nets did by 6. Jason Kidd, 20 points and 8 boards. Wade had 17, 9, and 7 assists. He also had 10 turnovers, though, the first rookie since Tim Duncan to record 10 turnovers in a game. But I told you about Tim Duncan, out for 5 games, and we suggested maybe no team can afford to lose their star guy as much as the Spurs and Tim Duncan. So we decided to throw out a few of these names, and let's start in the Eastern Conference. The guys that the contenders can least afford to lose.
Well, you look at Detroit, it's got to be Chauncey Billups. With New Jersey, Jason Kidd, obviously, and, of course, with Indiana, Jermaine O'Neal. These teams are vastly different without these guys on the court. People in Detroit might argue Ben Wallace, but Chauncey Billups makes that team go at that point guard spot. Without Jason Kidd in the lineup, what happens to everybody on that New Jersey Nets team? He makes every single player on that team better, even when he's not on the floor. His presence alone makes it. When you see Kenyon Martin getting most of his points, he must get 6 points a game off beautiful passes from Jason Kidd. Chauncey Billups, he's a gamer at that point position. This guy takes the big shots for this team. He's money in crunch time. He's a great leader for this ball club. He's hard-nosed. He's tough. Without Chauncey Billups, the Detroit Pistons fall a few spaces for sure. And you see the rest of the list here. The Kings without Mike Bibby. And, you know, with the Kings, really, you can put 3 or 4 guys in the spot. But I'm favoring that point guard position, as you can see, also with the Mavericks. Steve Nash on that team. Without Nash, I think that team squanders. You don't have to be a tremendous basketball fan to see, obviously, with the Lakers. Here's Mike Bibby going to work. Not only is this guy a proficient scorer, but he dishes the ball at almost 6 assists a game. He's efficient from beyond the three-point arc. He's tough. He's a hard-nosed kid. He won an NCAA championship at Arizona, so you know he can win. At least on one level, he's going to prove that he can win on another level. I'm sure before his career is done. And Steve Nash is the crafty one. Been around for a while. He's a competitor. He's a tough kid as well. Extremely crafty, clever ball player, knows the game inside and out. Again, of all those people on the Dallas Mavericks, I mean, you could talk about Antoine Walker, Dirk Nowitzki, Michael Finley. Without Steve Nash, he makes those guys a lot better. Without Steve Nash, the Dallas Mavericks aren't nearly as good.
Yeah, it's interesting you picked a couple of guys, their point guards in particular, who are like 4th, 5th on their team in scoring. It's not necessarily the guy getting the buckets all the time.
Well, that's always the mistake that the media always throws on the high scores on the team.
Blame the media.
Well, I'm a member of the media.
I was going to say,
so,
yeah.
You know, it's not always your high scorer who's the MVP of that team. It's the guys that do everything. Look at Jason Kidd. He's a 3rd leading scorer on that team, but he is unquestionably the MVP on that ball club.
You can't throw it back at the media now. You're sitting in the chair right here next to me.
I'm not really media.
Well,
you're faux media.
Are you picking up a check? I think you are. These are all Friday night
media,
dunks,
man.
and they still
Don't
count
put me
for
there yet.
tonight's dunk of the night, which is really a shame.
From the makers of Dead or Alive comes the greatest action game of all time, Ninja Gaiden. Rated M for mature. Unleash your inner ninja.
Oh, I'll take a pound of that.
Xbox, it's good to play together.
What's the hot new thing in activewear? The Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. It's what everyone's wearing to get deep heating relief in a patch that lasts up to 8 hours. Try on the new Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. It's what's hot in pain relief.
From Stephen King, who brought you The Stand, Carrie, and The Green Mile, comes his latest vision.
Inside his skull is the biggest, scariest haunted house of them all.
Welcome to Kingdom Hospital, a place medical science can't explain.
Kingdom Hospital is haunted.
ABC presents a Stephen King world premiere television event.
Cool. Yes, it is.
Stephen King's Kingdom Hospital. ABC Wednesday at 9, 8 Central.
There are lots of vacancies.
Owning the road just got a lot more affordable during the Subaru all-wheel drive away.
Subaru, driven by what's inside.
Together. Oh, together and
The many ways we communicate are coming together for you.
Come together.
With Ann, only from AT&T.
On March 26th, I'm looking for a quiet tenant. I am quiet, and yet not quiet. Tom Hanks is the most charming. We play church music. Sneaky. This is a criminal enterprise. Brilliant. Ingenious. You're all going to be very, very rich. Criminal mastermind. To ever attempt.
What was that?
The crime of the century. Let's make beautiful music. The Lady Killers. Rated R.
Last week on Dream Job.
You just don't sound like an anchor. I would worry about a smug factor. Chris Williams, you've been cut.
This week, 6 more finalists vie for the desk job of a lifetime. Dream Job, tomorrow at 10 on ESPN. Who will be cut next?
Well, it has been a fine week for the slam dunking. Dan Gedzerich, he was a candidate for Dunk of the Week. Rashard Lewis did his thing. Oh, hammer.
Nasty.
But Dwayne Wade, the rookie.
He's had a million dunks this year.
Another good one tonight. On Tuesday, it was Richard Jefferson. A little alley-oop. Wednesday, Amari Stoudemire, who indiscriminately dunks on people.
Ooch. Ouch.
So our poll question, which player had the best dunk of the week on ESPN.com? What do you got? Who'd you vote for?
Dwayne Wade had the best dunk. It wasn't Monday versus Portland. It was last week, maybe Sunday.
Well, that one's not on there. But you got the right player anyway. Monday versus Portland, 32.3%. Get on your computer. Please vote. Saturday night's dunk of the night. Pacers beat the Sixers. Jeff Foster, ladies and gentlemen.
White men can jump.
That is an NBA Fastbreak first. Jeff Foster's first dunk of the night. Congratulations to him. You got a final thought on Tim Duncan?
Tim Duncan, a lot of people don't know this, but no one was activated for him, and so he doesn't have to spend 5 games on the injured list. He can come off before that.
That is Sean Elliott, full-fledged media member. Don't let him tell you otherwise. We'll see you next time.